Hi, I'm Chef Carl and welcome to my home. Chef Carl Food Whisperer on YouTube, and today we're going to make new wave crab cakes. So we'll be right back.
Chef Carl, Food Whisperer, taking the mystery out of cooking.
Alright, we go to restaurants once in a while and have crab cakes. The last time we went, it was $40 for 2 crab cakes, except they used an ice cream scoop and scooped out 2 blobs of something. It didn't even fry them, didn't even flatten them. And they had Parmesan mashed potatoes, they're instant mashed potatoes, Parmesan cheese, $40. And we took them home and we threw them in the garbage. So I'm hoping this is a big step up. First thing we're going to do is I got Panko breadcrumbs. 3/4 of a cup of Panko breadcrumbs. And I cut back on the breadcrumbs because I'm using shredded raw Simplot hash browns. 1/2 cup. And we're going to chop them coarsely. Of course, Lee. Is Lee here? And this is going to give the patties texture and it won't be all soggy with breadcrumbs. And the 2 things in bread that make up the proteins is gluten and glycan, and they form gluten, and that's the stuff that makes the bread. And this is called your setup or your mise en place. Just thought you'd like to know that in case you ever ask that when you're taking a food test. So we got the breadcrumbs. I have a 1/2 tablespoon of garlic herb dry spice. I have 1 rounded teaspoon of baking powder. Not baking soda, baking powder. And now I'm going to mix this together. The key with breadcrumbs and dough, don't overmix them because you make them tough. Okay, I'm going to crack 1 egg. And like in that song from the 70s, whip it good. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of real mayonnaise versus fake mayonnaise. I want to kind of mix that in. Gray poupon. And again, I'm stirring that up. You want to keep your liquid stuff separated from the dry. The zest of 1 rounded tablespoon. And rather than grating this, because then you got a dirty grater. Just try to peel some off. And try not to get too much of the white, they call it the pit. And line them up. And now give it that nice citrusy flavor. Always use a nice sharp knife. When you grate lemon with a zest on a grater, you dirty the grater, and half the lemon or orange or whatever you're grating stays into the grater. So this way you get 100% of whatever you're using. And you got all those nice essential oils in there. So we want 1 rounded tablespoon of lemon zest. And this smells heavenly. So now we're going to add our liquid to our dry ingredients. And you want to make this a couple hours ahead of time. I let mine sit overnight, so I have some on the side here we're going to get. This is pasteurized crab meat. And this is a pound. This is what I made yesterday. Today I'm making 8 ounces. It's $15 or so in Myers for the pound, and that makes a double batch. And you can see how dry it is. There's hardly any liquid in it. You break it up. Breaking up is hard to do. And it's nice when you cook these off, you'll actually see the crab. And you just want to blend it, you want to beat the heck out of it. And that is our finished product. And I'm putting this on the side because we're going to fry off some crab cakes now using the crab mix I made yesterday. So now I'm going to put some olive oil and like 3 pads of butter in this little sauté pan. Melt it, get it sizzle for sizzle, that's Snoop Dogg. And then I'm going to put like 2 crab cakes at a time. Don't overcrowd them because they are very tender and they're hard to flip. Like a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Like 3 pads of butter. So now you want to take your crab meat mixture, sort of like a sausage patty. Turn the heat down a little bit. It takes like 2 or 3 minutes on each side, and don't make them too far ahead. I mean, you can make them a couple hour ahead and then just nuke them, but if not, cook 2 at a time. And sometimes 1 patty with a coleslaw and cornbread is enough. I'll put a roll of sauce on, and I'll show you how to make that. And I was thinking it would be great to have a poached egg or a lightly fried egg over the top for breakfast with some fresh fruit. Good stuff. Well, now I'm reshaping the patties. And that's what happens when you try to turn the patty before it's brown. This is one of those hurry up and wait. If I wasn't standing by the patties, they'd burn in about 30 seconds. But when you're watching them, they say a watched pot never boils. And don't worry, they fall apart a little bit, they still taste good. Get it hot all the way through it, make sure you cook the hash brown so they're not raw tasting. The olive oil helps the butter not to burn. Just try to make a nice patty. After these two, that'll be enough. And I'll show you how to plate it up and how to make the rémoulade sauce. And it should be good. Somebody's got to taste this. Mmm, good stuff. And while we're waiting, just a reminder, watch my friends Grill It and Chill It with Mojo on YouTube, and Mike's Everyday BBQ on YouTube. Mike gave me my start. He actually appears in my first video. And while that's browning for our rémoulade sauce, I make the poor man's rémoulade sauce. Half a cup of Thousand Island dressing, 1 teaspoon of creamy horseradish, 1 tablespoon of small capers. If they're large, you have to chop them. And a little lemon juice from and these are very rich and filling, so Don't think you're gonna eat 6 of these. Oh, these came out much better. See how nice and brown? You can see all the crab meat. I guess I rushed the first two a little bit, but I was hungry. About 1 more minute, and these cakes are going to be ready to be plated with creamy coleslaw, cornbread, my provolone sauce, and don't forget you can even put an egg on top of it. Yummo. That's all I got to say. Yummo. That's our wonderful crab cakes. All right, now coming over here. Gotta put some
Okay.
So now I'm going to top this with a little bit of the, I call it the poor man's rémoulade sauce. And there you have it. Like I said, crab patties, crab cakes with lots of crab meat. Cornbread, you can add a little honey or butter, creamy coleslaw, and you can even put a fried egg for breakfast with a cup of fruit. So, Chef Carl, Food Whisperer here on YouTube, and our next video is going to be chicken piccata sometime in April. So I want to thank Board for putting up with me, and hopefully we'll have this out by Sunday or Monday. I don't know what his schedule is. So, goodbye, I love you, farewell, and ciao.